If you're not in a constant state of elevation, you remain stuck where you are. And if you like where you are, you're comfortable, you don't want more from life, please stop watching this video right now. I'm not even joking. Hey my loves, my name is Debbie and you're welcome back to the channel. You're welcome back to Debbie's Hive. Today we're talking all about self-investment, which is literally one of my favorite things to talk about. I'm all about getting better and better and better and better because I'm self-aware enough to know that I'm not where I want to be in life, and there's definitely a whole lot more I can be doing to take me to that next level. So now investing in yourself means putting your time, your energy, your money, your resources for you to get better professionally, physically, mentally, financially, basically for you to level up in all areas of your life. Now, there are so many reasons why we need to invest in ourselves. One of them being it increases your opportunities. Time to learn a skill, or you spend time pursuing knowledge or personal growth, it opens you up to more opportunities. Now, we are all young adults, or I think majority of my audience is young adults, and you've gone through primary school, secondary school, probably you have a BSc, master's, PhD. When you're filling a job application role, or even generally, you know for a fact that the money they would pay someone who has a BSc, it's different from what they would pay someone with just a senior school certificate. It's different from what they would pay someone who has a PhD. So when you go the extra mile to just expand, it definitely opens you up to more opportunities. And it doesn't even have to be education. Maybe you want to learn a skill. There are so many skills out there. I've been lucky enough to learn a couple of them, and I still plan on learning more or developing the skills that I already have. If you want to learn a skill, I encourage you to do that. There are so many skills you can pick up, but when you just go the extra mile to do all of these things, it sets you apart from people on the same level as you. Secondly, when you invest in yourself, your confidence naturally improves. I remember one time I wanted to make my hair and I met this girl for the first time. We were trying to decide on the price and she wouldn't budge. I didn't understand why. And she told me, Madam, if I make your hair one time, you don't go agree make another person make your hair. And I was like, this is confidence. Like, okay, let's see what you have to offer. I gave her a chance, and true to her words, she delivered. The only reason she had enough boldness, enough confidence to tell me, if I make your hair for you, you will not let someone else make your hair, is because she has invested in her skills, she has grown, she has learned, she knows her worth, she knows what she carries. So confidence that is built through competence, it tends to last longer than confidence get from external validation, or maybe confidence based on your appearance. When you improve on yourself, you become more adaptable. We live in a world where every day new things, new innovations, new technology, the industry is changing fast, and if you don't commit yourself to learning in your field, you would remain stuck where you are. Recently there was like lots of debate and drama with Nollywood about I think they had issues with Funke Akindele going the extra mile to promote our movies, and it's like, this is the times we're in. If you think you just want to put movie in cinema and you will not work hard to convince people to go and watch it, you're wasting your time. Because these days people would rather watch movies on their phones. We have Netflix, we have Prime, we have Amazon Prime, we even have all of these sites where you can watch copyright movies from. So people are not spending their hard-earned money in this economy to go to the cinema. So it's not a bit to stay there and be judging her, laughing at her. You better think of something you would do to get your own audience. I'm basically just trying to say, whatever industry you're in, everybody's trying to get better, and so new ideas, new innovations are coming up. So when you're someone who is already committed to learning, it makes it easy for you to adapt when those new changes come up. Another reason why you have to invest in yourself is the fact that you are your lifelong asset. You may lose your job, lose relationships, life might just not go well for you, but anything you've spent investing in yourself, any knowledge, any skill that you've had to learn, it's yours forever, and it's definitely going to pay off in the end. Because when you commit yourself to self-investment, you become better at making decisions, because it takes a lot of self-awareness, like I said in the beginning, for you to sit down, look at yourself and say, oh, these are areas of my life I could actually improve improving, and that just helps you make better decisions generally in life. Your emotional intelligence increases, you have critical thinking skills, and it affects your relationships, your hobbies, your habits, the things you choose to spend your time doing. When you invest yourself, there's this long-term fulfillment you get. External success that is gotten without personal growth is unstable. But when you commit yourself to learning, you commit yourself to getting better, it helps align what you do to who you want to become. You cannot talk about investment and not talk about money. So I guess I want to talk to you guys about my journey with money all through these years. First off, I want to say I was born into a middle class average family. We had our good days. I had moments where there was a driver taking me to school, and I also had moments where we ate empty soup without meat. Do you understand? So I guess I've experienced a bit of both worlds, but all in all, I would like to say we're like middle class. Um, I think after uni, I went to Madonna University, private university. So if things were bad, of course, we would not have been able to afford schooling there. So yeah, I think after schooling, of course, I was lucky for NYSC. I was posted to a hospital, and the hospital was paying me alongside the 19.8 the federal government was paying as well. So that was basically enough for me to care for myself. From there on to now, I stopped depending on my parents for money. Because I was in a corporate environment, they had this ususu saving culture, and immediately I started work there, I just joined the ususu thing. So every month I would keep like a portion of my salary. I was really dedicated to it. I love saving. I tried a couple of businesses, three, if I'm not mistaken. I've sold perfumes, I've sold makeup, I've sold bags, and none of them worked out. Because of how terrible I was in handling those business, I somehow convinced myself that I'm not a business person. Business is not for me. And I think that just affected me because it gave me this fear for money. I just believe that I have no ways to replicate money. So when I have money, it's either I'm saving, holding on to it, or I'm spending it. And with this economy, if you don't have more than one source of income, it doesn't do well for you. So basically, that has just been my journey with money. But these days, I've just come to understand that if I'm not spending my resources, money being one of them, there is no way I can level up in life. I think once you are comfortable letting go of money, it's easier for you to spend your time, it's easier for you to spend your energy, because where your money is, that's where your heart is. So yeah, I just want to talk about how we can invest our resources being money, tools, environment, relationship, all of that. Spend your money on education and self-development. If you have to take a course, I did a virtual assistant course. Even though I didn't pursue it as a career, I can tell you for a fact that that course has played a huge role in my life. Everything I learned in that course helps me, even in how I organize and arrange my personal life. So if you have to learn a course, there's so many of them out there: project management, customer relations. Do it. If you need to pay for an extra certificate, or you need to buy books, mentorship, I just know knowledge often gives the highest long-term return on investment. Next is spend your money on tools that improve efficiency. Tools like getting a laptop. I got a new laptop this year. The first laptop I got was a gift. In fact, I was never a laptop girl. I always said I wanted to get an iPad, but I got a MacBook as a gift. And once I started using it, I realized how helpful and how important it was. And because I couldn't edit with the MacBook Air I had to get another one just to help my workflow. So basically, you should invest your money on anything that would save you stress and time when it comes to your work. So if you have to upgrade your workspace, you need to get better tools. That's one good place you should be spending your money on. Basically, anything that would help you do more with less time, spend your money there. You should also spend your money on your personal well-being, healthcare. In a sane society, we should be going for medical checkups at least every 3 months, every 6 months. There are even checkups you do once a year. But I understand with the way things are, we can't even afford to do that. So whatever you can do to protect your body, if you have to exercise, go to the gym, therapy, those are things you should be investing your money on. You also want to make sure you're investing your time in doing the right things. If you don't spend your time properly, you find yourself stuck, you find yourself in the same position as you were last year, and we don't want that. Like I said already, if you have to learn a skill, be it a professional skill or a skill within your field, please go ahead. That is a very, very good use of your time. You also want to make sure you're building systems that would help you be more productive and not motivation. Create routines. Tell yourself, oh, I'll wake up this time, I spend 2 hours doing this, I spend 1 hour doing that. When you create a routine and you portion your time like that, it's easier for you to be consistent, it's easier for you to be productive. I know once in a while you get that huge burst of motivation, you have lots of energy, you feel like doing a lot of things, and you actually get a lot done. But if you depend on only when you would feel motivated, you won't be able to do as much work as you would do if you just created a routine and forced yourself to stick to it. You are scheduling hours for deep work periods. If you know you are more productive in the morning, tasks that involve your focus, things like learning, planning your future, reading, you just want to do that in the morning. You want to make sure you're going to bed on time, because if you don't sleep early, you're not going to wake up early. These are all of the little ways you invest in yourself for you to become better in life. I also want to say you should take time to reflect regularly. Growth happens when you review yourself. Ask yourself, what is working? What worked for me last week? What should I change? What wasted too much time? When you spend time to review yourself, it turns your experience into an opportunity for you to improve on your skills. I'll forever die on the hill that when you become better, you attract better, because what you embody, you consistently attract, you consistently allow. When you invest in yourself, you raise your personal standards. There's no way you would grow and you'd accept the same things you used to accept before. Unhealthy habits, poor communication, they literally begin to irritate you, and you find out you have no tolerance for things like that. When you invest in yourself, you develop real value, because people and opportunities, they are drawn to competence and reliability. So the more you show up for yourself, the people around you, they can see your consistency, and it makes them believe they can trust you when opportunities that would help you land in their hands. When you invest in yourself, you set better boundaries, you become reflective, not desperate, you're more selective of the things you allow. I want to end this video by saying you don't get better through appearance or external validation. You only get better when you take the extra time to do the work, when you go the extra mile. That is the only way you improve and you get better for yourself. And when you get better, you start to attract better. You guys, thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.